Hello! Okay, so today we will have a full body session. So you can expect places like the back, the shoulder, the arms, the glutes, the hamstrings, the core. Okay? All you're going to need is your beautiful self, your mat, and a bottle of water. We're going to get straight into it. Position. So hands are going to be underneath your shoulders, knees under hips, you've got that hip width gap, and your toes are flat on the mat. We're going to inhale here, exhale, let's round into the spine, chin to chest, and as you exhale, arch your spine, look to the ceiling and allow your belly to be soft. And repeat. Exhale, round, draw your shoulder blades apart, and then as you inhale, allow them to kiss. Awesome. So take this at your own pace. Okay, there's no rush here. We're just mobilizing through the spine. So it's flexing and extending into that spine. So really just getting all of the joints, all of the blood flowing through the body. And it's really important that you focus on your breath, not only in this movement, but throughout this class today. So let's go for another 3. Last 2. Feeling so good. Last one, wherever you are, either flex or extend. Come to that neutral position. Okay, we're going to get straight stuck into it. So I want you to extend your right arm long, straight to the side of you. Your thumb is to the ceiling. We're going to inhale to prepare. On the exhale, you're going to gently lift your arm up so your hands are in line with your shoulder, and then you're going to lower it all the way back down. So easy. Lift and lower. Now I want you to imagine I'm pulling your right arm to the other side of the room. So really lengthen into that arm. Lift it up and lower it down. So you want to think of your arm between 2 panes of glass. So all you can do is lift and lower. You can't move it back and forward, or back and forth I should say. Still focusing on our breath. Exhale as you lift, inhale as you lower. Now it's important that your core is engaged here. Don't start to sink to that left side. Okay, so try and place all of that weight into your left palm. Lift it up and lower it down. Now we're going to start to add those layers. Okay, so in 3, last 2, last 1, we're going to hold that arm up at that shoulder height. We're going to bend the arm to now reach the fingertips behind the neck, or just tap the neck, extend it long, lower it down. Wonderful. Lift, bend that arm, extend it out, and lower that arm all the way back down to that start position. And repeat. Your core still engaged here. Okay, nothing else is moving apart from your arm. So we're going to start to feel it in the shoulders. Super slow and controlled. We're not rushing through anything. We're going to go for 4. We're going to start to add. It's Pilates. We like to add those layers to make an exercise harder and harder. So take it as it comes, choose that layer that's good for you, and then stay here. So we're going to go for 1 more. On this next one, lift it up, bend, keep it bent. Okay, so your fingertips are behind your neck. We're going to lower this right elbow down to the left elbow, or the left wrist I should say, and we're going to bring it all the way back up. Elbow stays in line with the shoulder. And exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Okay, so we're bending it in. That neck is glued in place. It's your elbow that's leading the way. And lift it up. Your core is still engaged. We're going to start to feel it in obliques, and we're really going to feel it in that middle spine, in the shoulder. Now, if you want to challenge yourself a bit more here, can you bring, next time your elbow comes up to that start position, can you bend your left knee? Can you bring your left toes to the ceiling? Now we're going to lower the elbow and the knee at the same time. Oh, that is such a core challenge. And lift it all the way up. Don't sink into this right side, okay? Really place that weight into that left palm. Now you need to be super controlled here because we don't want to lose our balance. So it's all in the core. The core is doing the work. Bring your belly button to your spine. Don't drop your neck, okay? Your neck stays in line with your spine the entire time. Woo! Starting to feel it in my left glute too. We're going to go for 4 more. You're looking so strong. Last 3. Last 2. Last one, we're going to hold that leg and that arm lifted, hold. And you guessed it, we're going to go for pulses. Let's go for 5. So pulse the elbow to the ceiling, pulse the toes to the ceiling, okay? We're going to go for 4. Woo! Let's go for 3. Let's go for 2. Last one, hold there, hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the leg where it is. Drop your right hand to the mat. Can you extend your left leg? Woo! Let's lower that leg down. Okay, adjust yourself if you need to. Hands are underneath your shoulders. Your right knee is underneath your hip. And let's begin. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Same rules apply here. Okay, your core is helping stabilize you. Lift it up, squeeze, lower it down. Making sure both of your hip bones are squared to the mat. So they're looking to the mat the whole time. And you should feel your glutes engage before you lift it. Whew, I know so many points to remember, but you are doing so well. We're going to go for 3 more. We're going to start to add. Let's go for 2 more. Let's go for 1 more. Lift it up, hold it there, hold. Tuck the elbows in towards the side. We're going to lower all the way down to a tricep push-up. That leg's going to lift to the ceiling. And you're going to lower it all the way back. Woo! And repeat. Exhale. Inhale back to that start. Okay, so as you come to that push-up, your elbows are tucked in towards your rib cage. Your left toes are lifting to the ceiling. And whoo, come back to that start. So getting into some triceps now. We're here for 4. Last 3, if this is too much, leave it out and just stay with that lifting and lowering of the leg. Last 2. Woo! Last 1. Don't hate me if you want a bit more. Can you come halfway with the arms? Let's pulse that leg up to the ceiling for 4, for 3, last 2, last 1, hold it there, pulse the arms up and down for 4, 3, 2, and 1, push all the way up. Woo, bend into that knee, press back into downward facing dog. With your heels down towards the mat, feeling the stretch at the back of the legs, dropping your chin towards your chest, looking to your toes. Breathe, feeling the stretch. It feels so good. Ripple through the spine and come down onto your knees and turn onto your left side. Okay, well done. Strong start, but you're doing well. Okay, so I want you to come onto your left side, your left elbows underneath your left shoulder. You're bent into your left leg, and I want you to extend your right leg. Oh, I'm out of breath. Extend your right leg, okay, so your knees are on top of one another. Lift that right leg up, so now it's in line with your right hip. I want you to internally rotate your right leg, okay, so what does that mean? It means that your knee and your toes are kind of looking towards the floor. If they were externally rotated, it means that your knee and your toes would be pointing to the ceiling. We don't want that. So internally rotate it, keep it there. Flex the foot, wonderful. And this free hand, you can either hold it onto your hip or you can place it onto the mat. We're gonna begin. Inhale, let's lower it down. Exhale, lift. Ooh. Let's lower it down and lift it up. Wonderful. So keeping that ankle and that shin in an alignment. Okay, so I don't want your ankle to be lowering or your foot to be lowering before your ankle. Keeping those knees stacked on one another. Lower and lift. Now, we're going to be working into those two smaller glute muscles, okay? Because your glute muscle is made up of 3. Fun fact for the day, okay? So today we're going to be working, well, in this exercise, we're going to be working into those 2 smaller muscles. Okay, so important to note, you're not sinking into this left shoulder. Make sure that that shoulder and the ear are away from one another. Core is engaged. We're going to go for 4 more. Woo! This is a silent killer. We're going to go for 3 more. Breathe through it. Last 2. Remember, I'm doing this with you so I can feel your pain. Last one. Hold it up, hold. Okay, with the foot flexed, we're going to sweep it back. So now your heel is in line with your glute. And then we're going to point the foot. Let's bring it back to that start position. Knees on top of one another. And exhale, sweep it back. Point the foot, bring it back in line with that knee. Doing so good. Bring it back. Core is engaged. Okay, now notice, I'm not swinging my body back and forth. It's just my leg that is mobilizing. The core is helping stabilize the rest of our body. And my hips are still stacked. So one is not rolled back or the one's not rolled forward. Really important. We're going to go for 4 more. Make sure that leg's not dropping lower than hip height. I see you. Last 2. Last one, bring it in line with the glute, okay? Make sure you're not sinking into that shoulder. Core is engaged. Let's point the foot. Let's start to draw tiny little circles. So it's only the leg that's moving. Now, if you're not feeling it into your glutes, I want you to roll your hips a bit forward. Okay, sometimes what happens is we tend to sit a little bit further back. Let's make sure that our hips are stacked. And we're going for 3. Last 2. Woo! Last one, let's reverse that circle. We're going for 4, for 3, last 2, last one, hold it there. Sweep that leg forward to that start position, flex the foot, and we're gonna pulse it up for 5, for 4, last 3, last 2, and last one, bend it in. Give it a good hard tap, 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 tap. I know, but don't you feel good? Okay, we're gonna get straight into some side planks, which is gonna work into the obliques. We're gonna stay in this position. Extend your top leg long. Advanced option is you can step your bent bottom leg behind your top leg. Okay, start position. We're gonna lower it down if you are in this advanced. Inhale to prepare, exhale. Let's lift the hips up. Inhale, lower down. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. If you want to advance it even more, can you lift this top arm up to the ceiling? Lift, lower. Now, if you're feeling this in your shoulder, that means your core is not engaged, your glutes are not switched on. This is an oblique exercise, so you really want to lift up from this bottom hip. Lower it down, lift, woo, lower it down. We're gonna go for 4. Let's go for 3. Last 2. Last one, can you hold your hip lifted? Hold with this top arm. Can you thread it underneath the bottom and lift it up? We're not dropping those hips down to the mat. And thread, and lift, and thread. You are doing so well. Woo, can you lift those hips up a bit more? We're gonna go for 4. For 3. Last 2. Last one, hold those hips lifted, hold on, hold, reach your fingertips up to the ceiling. Let's pulse it up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, last 3, last 2, and last one, lower it down gently. Woo. Zigzag the legs, come all the way up, right hand onto the mat, lift your left fingertips up to the ceiling, look under your armpit. Make sure both of your glutes, both of your sit bones are rested on the mat. Feeling that stretch all along that left side. It feels so good. Mermaid stretch. And then bring that left arm to the mat. Turn onto your bums and lay gently onto your back. Okay, we have worked into the core. It is Pilates, but we will be focusing on some proper core work. Okay, so to begin, let's first start to engage our deep core stabilizers, because once you know how to switch those on, you are good to go. Okay, it will make such a difference to your core exercises in the future and to your core. Okay, so your deep core stabilizers are the ones that you cannot see. It's the transverse abdominis, so they run from the back of your rib cage all the way to the front, and they are these horizontal fibers, and they are super important for things like laughing, for running, for allowing you to sit up straight, all of these different components. Okay, we can't see them, but they are the most important part of the core muscles. So enough talk from me. Let's start. So you're in a neutral position here. You should have a tiny little gap underneath your lower spine, small enough for a blueberry. What we're going to do is we're going to put on a pair of jeans, and they are such a tight pair of jeans, and you're trying to do up the zipper, and every time you try to do up the zipper, you are bringing your belly button to your spine, you're melting your entire spine into the mat, and release. Let's repeat, zip them up, and release. So exhale, zip, inhale, release. Now don't switch on your glutes. They're chilling, they're on holiday. They are resting after you've just worked them. Zip it up. Let's go for 2 more. Last one. Wonderful. Okay, hands are going to rest behind your head, elbows wide. Inhale to prepare. On the exhale, we're going to curl up and forward. Inhale, release it down. Repeat. Exhale, curl up and forward. Bring your belly button to your spine. Draw your abdominals in. And inhale, lower down. Awesome work. Making sure you should be able to fit a peach underneath your chin. So don't tuck that chin to your chest. You're looking either to the ceiling or just above your knees. And remember, elbows are wide. The elbows are not doing anything here. It's all in the core. So don't bring the elbows close towards one another. Really important to focus on your breath during this core work. Okay, a lot of us tend to hold our breath during core work, and that helps in no way. We're going to go for 3 more. Last 2. Last one, hold head, neck, and shoulders lifted. Hold. We're going to float this right leg into a tabletop. Now, we're going to lower head, neck, and shoulders, and at the same time, the right toes are going to tap to the mat. But your leg is glued in this position, so you're moving from that hip joint. Then, exhale, we're going to lift up. Knee comes back in line with that hip. And repeat. So it's a toe tap with a supine curl. Woo! Slow and controlled, because I don't want you bending at the knee. So if you're doing this, you're cheating, okay? Move from that hip bone. Looking strong, we're gonna go for 3 more. Last 2. Remember, if it's too much with head, neck, and shoulders, you're more than welcome to leave it out. And you can just lift that leg into the tabletop, and then keeping your core engaged, you can lower those toes down to the mat, and you can lift them up. If you can't touch the mat, that's totally okay. But I want you to make sure that your back is flat on the mat. Otherwise, let's go. 2 more. Last one. Keep that right leg where it is. Lower head, neck, and shoulders. We're going to do the exact same thing with the left side. Okay, exhale. Left leg comes in the tabletop. Inhale as you lower it down, tap the toes. Woo, so much harder. You can drop this right leg down to the mat if it's too much in this tabletop position. Okay, but now I want you to make sure that your entire spine is melted into the mat. I don't want it to lift. We're going to go for 4 more. Let's go for 3 more. Woohoo! Let's go for 2 more. Last one, keep that left leg lifted, keep head, neck, and shoulders lifted. Now can you reach your fingertips long? Okay, palms to the ceiling, and reach them back, lower head, neck, and shoulders. Exhale, reach. Inhale, lower down. Exhale, reach. Inhale, lower down. So every time you come up, you reach your fingertips. I want you to bring your head, neck, and shoulders just a little bit higher. Ooh, feeling it a little bit more in that core. If you need to connect your feet and your knees together to take some pressure off of those lower abdominals, you are more than welcome to do that. Keeping that gap between the knees just adds a bit more. It's more of an advancement. We're gonna go for 3 more. Let's go for 2 more. Last one, hold it there. Turn the palms are facing the ground. 4, 3, 2, 1, let's pump the arms. Pump, 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 pump. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you'd like to extend your legs, you can. So now your feet are going to be connected. Your legs at a diagonal. Let's go. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you need to rest your head, neck and shoulders onto the mat, do so. Let's go. Final 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Woo! Hug the knees in towards the chest, rock from side to side. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful work. My hair tie came out halfway through. Okay, one hand behind each knee. Let's start to rock back and forth. Massaging the entire spine onto the mat. Making sure not to land onto the neck. For 3, last 2, last 1. Come all the way up. Cross the ankles, hands come onto the mat. And come all the way to the middle into an all-four position. We're going to get straight stuck into the other side, okay? So coming into the last little bits of your class. How are you feeling? Woo, let's go. Extend that left arm to the side, okay? So your hands in line with your shoulder. Your thumb is to the ceiling. Place that weight into the right palm to help stabilize you and to even out the weight. Inhale to prepare, exhale. Let's lift that arm up to shoulder height. Inhale, lower down. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Wonderful. So looking just above your fingertips to make sure that your neck is not dropping or it's not extending up to the ceiling. And remember, your arm is between 2 panes of glass. So you can't move it back and forth. You can only lift it and lower it. And I want you to note here, don't pull your arm out of its socket. Keep it in there. You're just lifting and lowering. Let's go for 4 more. We're going to start to add those layers. So now you know what's coming. It's a bit of a mental game, isn't it? It's like when you run in the same direction. That's always so much harder for me when I'm like doing loops or running on the treadmill. Let's go. Last 2. Last one. Keep your hand up in that shoulder height. We're now going to bend it. Fingertips are going to come behind the head so your palms facing the floor. Then extend it out and lower it down. Lift your core still engaged. So even though we're not working into the core, it's still being worked. Does that make sense? I'm getting tired so my brain is not working. Let's go. Last 3. Last 2. Last 1. Can you bend it? Extend it, but now keep it bent. Hold it there, hold it there. We're going to lower that elbow to that right wrist. And then we're going to lift it all the way up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Remember, your neck is glued in space. It's that left elbow that's leading the way. Now you can stay here if you want a bit more. Next time you lift your left elbow to the ceiling, can you lift your right toes? So your leg's in that 90-degree angle. We're going to lower it down, and we're going to lift it up at the same time. Woo. Lower. This puts extra challenge in those obliques and the core. Make sure both of your hip bones are squared to the mats. They're staring to the mat, so don't open that right hip. Woo. A lot more challenging on this side for me. We all have a weaker side. Let's go 3 more. Last 2. Last one. Hold that elbow and that leg lifted. Hold, hold, hold. Zip up that core. 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's pulse the elbow and that toe up to the ceiling. Let's go for 4. 4, 3. Last 2. Last one. Hold that leg where it is. Drop that left hand to the mat. Extend that right leg long. Wonderful. Both hip bones are pointed. We're going to lower down. If you need to adjust yourself, you can. Lift. Lower down. Lift. Lengthening into that leg. Imagining I'm pulling your leg to the other side of the room. That's what I mean by lengthen. Ooh, and you should feel your glutes engage, your right glutes engage before you even lift that leg. Try not to look at yourself. Okay, you really still want to look to your fingertips. Let's go for 3. We're going to add that push up. Let's go for 2. Last one, hold that leg. Now, tuck the elbows in towards the side. You're going to lower your chest all the way down, or your forehead. That leg is going to lift at the same time. And then come all the way up to the start. Exhale down. Keeping elbows in towards the side. So now you're going to feel it more into this right side. When we began, we felt it more on our left. Spread your fingertips to take some pressure off your wrists. Last 3. Last 2. Last one. We're going to hold it halfway. Hold it halfway. Now we're going to pulse those right toes to the ceiling. Let's go for 4. For 3. For 2. 1. Hold that leg where it is. We're going to pulse up and down that chest for 4. For 3. Last 2. And last 1. Woo, bend it in. Tuck the toes, press back downward facing dog. Breathe, 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 breathe. Drop both the heels down. Look to your toes, chin to your chest. Take a moment here. Ripple through the spine. Come onto your knees gently, and then turn around to come onto your right side. Okay, come down to your right forearm. Your right elbow is underneath your right shoulder. Bend into both of your legs, but now I want you to extend this top leg. Okay, so your left leg. And I want you to make sure that both of your knees are stacked on top of each other. You can just rest it there for the time being. Inhale to prepare. This free hand, the top hand, left hand can either rest onto your hip or you can place it in front of your chest. The main thing to note here is that I want both of your hip bones to be stacked. Yes, make sure the top is not rolled back. Super important. Let's internally rotate this top leg so the knees and the toes are looking to the floor. Inhale, float that leg to start. Let's lower it down. Exhale, let's lift, hip height. Inhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Inhale, lower. So I like to flex my foot, but I give you the option to point. It's completely up to you. Just make sure that your toes are not lifting to the ceiling when you do that. Lift, lower, not sinking into that right shoulder. Okay, so moving that ear away from the shoulder. Getting into those 2 smaller glute muscles, the medium and the smaller one. I'm not going to bore you with their names. Woo, let's go for 4. Let's go for 3. I'm automatically feeling it. Last two. Last one. Let's hold that leg lifted, hold. Keep that foot flexed. We're gonna sweep that leg. So now the heel is in line with the glute. You can place this hand onto the mat if that helps stabilize you or helps with your balance. Point your foot. So now your leg comes to that start position. Sweep it back, flex the foot. Point the foot, sweep it forward. Wonderful, your body's not rocking from side to side or back and forth. It's only that leg that's moving. And make sure you're maintaining that hip height. Okay, don't let that leg drop. I know when we get tired, we tend to get lower and lower and lower, but try avoid that, okay? You're stronger than you think. Let's go for 4 more. Let's go for 3 more. Let's go for 2 more. Last one, sweep it back in line with your glute. Hold, both of your hip bones are stacked. Point the foot. We're going to draw tiny little circles. Tiny little circles. Tiny circles for 4, for 3. Last 2. Last 1. Reverse. For 4, for 3. Last 2. Last one, keep it there. Sweep that leg to that start position. Flex the foot, we're gonna pulse it up for 5. Let's go for 4. Woo! Let's go for 3. Last 2. And last one, bend it in. Woo! Give it a good hard tap, 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 tap. Okay. You're doing so well. We only got 1 more workout. That's a side plank, and then we'll get into a really good stretch. You can extend your top leg. Advancement is you can bring that bottom leg behind the top, okay? Let's lower it down if you have taken this advancement. To prepare, exhale, let's lift the hips up to the ceiling, let's lower it down. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. So moving from that bottom hip, which is your right hip, lift it up to the ceiling. Cores engaged. If you want an extra advancement, you can lift this top arm to the ceiling. Looking strong. Opening up that chest towards me. Cores engaged, glutes engaged. We don't want to feel it in the shoulders. Let's go for 4. For 3. Last 2. Last one, hold it up. This top arm, we're going to thread it underneath. Look to your fingertips the whole time. And lift. And thread. Lift, keeping this right hip lifted the whole time. Woo. My necklace is trying to choke me. Let's go for 3. Woo. Let's go for 2. Last one, can we hold it, lift it, hold, hold, hold. 4, 3, 2, 1, tiny pulse up to the ceiling. You have got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower it down. Bend both of your legs in that zigzag position. Take a deep breath. Left hand onto the mat. Lift your right fingertips up and over to the left. Looking underneath your armpit, feeling the stretch all along that right side. Start position. Okay, we're just going to do a couple of stretches and then you'll be free to go. Super important that you do go through these stretches. Okay, I know a lot of us are like, oh, we've done this workout, now we get to chill. I promise, you'll feel super good, your body will feel super good, and you'll also prevent some injuries. Okay, so we're going to turn onto all fours. And we're going to do cat-cows. So as we began is how we're going to end. So let's go. Exhale, chin to chest, round into your spine. And inhale to arch up to the ceiling. Exhale, round. Inhale, arch. We're going to go for 2 more. Last one. Wonderful. Come to neutral. Tuck your toes. Press back to downward facing dog. Okay, dropping both of your heels down to the mat. Now I want you to lift your right heel and then lower it down, lift the left heel. So you're alternating heel lifts. Still looking to your toes the whole time. Ooh, feels good for the back of the legs. Let's go for 4, for 3, last 2, last 1. Drop both of your heels down. Now can you bring your right leg up to the ceiling if you can, and then can you step it between your feet? So bring that knee forward, step it between your feet, lower that back knee, untuck the toes, come all the way up. So now you're in this 90-90 lunge. Okay, wonderful. Once you've found your balance, I want you to lean forward with your hips, feeling your right hip flexor switch on. Should feel good. Don't worry about your stomach, you don't need to engage it. Okay, just allow it to rest. It's worked hard enough. Then once you come back to that start position, then you're going to place both your hands on either side of your foot, and you're going to extend into your right leg. Your toes are going to come up to the ceiling. You're going to drop your head down towards your knees. Feel the stretch of the hamstring. 4, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend into the knees. Okay, press up, extend into that back leg. Both hands are on the mat now, and then press back to that 3-legged dog and lower that right leg all the way down. And we're going to go straight into the other side. So you're going to lift your left toes up to the ceiling. You're going to bend that knee in towards the chest. You're going to step that foot between your feet, your hands. You're going to drop that back knee. You're going to untuck the toes. You're going to come all the way up. So now you're in a 90-90 lunge. Once you've got your balance, hands are going to rest on each hip bone, and then you're just going to lean forward. Feel the stretch of that left hip flexor. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now both your hands are going to come on either side of your leg, and then your toes are going to reach up to the ceiling, extend into this top leg, drop your head down towards your knee if you can, feeling that deeper stretch of that left side. Breathe. 4, 4, for 3, last 2, last 1. Bend into that knee, hands come on either side. Remember, you're going to extend into that back leg, lift the knee off of the mat, then you're going to lift this left leg up to that 3-legged dog, lower it all the way down, ripple through the spine, come onto your knees, and then come into the middle of your mat. Woo. And we're going to come to a seated position. Your hands are going to rest on your knees, and we're just going to take 3 deep breaths in. You're going to inhale through the nose, fill up those lungs, exhale out. Repeat. Inhale through the nose, exhale out. Final deep breath in. Inhale through the nose, hold that breath. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale through the mouth. Wonderful work. You did so well today.